All right, now it is time to detangle. So we will be doing Yasmin's hair today. She has an amazing grade of hair, and we are going to section the hair, spray it down, and detangle. So we have already washed and prepped the hair, so it is already detangled a good amount, but we're gonna go through and section it and make sure that all the tangles are through. So we have our tray set up, and the first thing that we're gonna wanna do always is spray the hair down with plenty of water. So we'll start that now. Make sure that you are using your hands to mix it into the hair. One of the biggest things that I see quite often is when people put their hands on curly hair, they use their fingers to rake through. It's important that we don't do this and that we treat the hair as a whole, because it causes breakage, it hurts really bad, and our hair kind of works in more of a clumping way, so you don't want to run your hands through the hair while you're doing it. So I'm making sure that I'm getting underneath the hair and all through, and I want to make sure that her hair is getting completely wet before we start to detangle. And I'm massaging that water in as I'm going. Make sure that you're moving the hair out of the way to get the inside of the hair, because the top might be wet, but usually the inside is not. Oh Lord, that's not good. My button got stuck on your hair. I am guarding her face with my hand to make sure that I don't spray her in the face. That is very important. You want to make sure that your client is comfortable while you're doing their hair. All right, once I feel that the hair is saturated enough, we are gonna go ahead and grab our sectioning comb. All right, to understand how to section the hair, the most important thing is to understand how to do one part, and that's from the front of your head to the back. So that is our middle part, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and turn her so you guys can see how to do this at home or to do this on a client. So what you're gonna do is take from the middle of their eyebrow and you'll place your comb straight onto the head. We're not pointing it this way, we're pointing it this way, okay? So what I like to do is I'll stand right behind my client and I will ask them to lean their head back like this, and I will find the middle. You can kind of see the point of their nose as well, and we will start to part your long piece. The tail of your comb should be laying flat on the head. It shouldn't be digging into the scalp, but you want this to lay flat, and use this as your guide. So I'm going to do that again, finding the middle of her nose and her eyebrows, and I am taking it back. All right, and then I'm gonna take my comb and I'm going to brush that hair slightly. I'm not putting the comb into the hair per se, I'm just using the teeth of the comb to lay the hair flat. And we should have a good enough middle part. And so I only did it to about here. Let me put your head down. To about here. And from there, then I can move backwards. All right, so from where you stopped, you're gonna take the comb again and go a little bit farther back. I'll turn her the other way so you guys can see. So I will part down just a little bit again. And I am actually, once I have that in there, I'm going to separate the hair like this. If you run into tangles, you will gently pull them apart. And then I will use the teeth of my comb again and brush the hair off to the sides. All right, right? And so that's the same amount that I've gone from here to here, right? And we will do it again, farther down from that last point. And I will separate gently. If you run into tangles, you can pull them apart from where that tangle is. And this is when you're going to ask your client to put their head down. There you go. And now we treat the back of the head. And a trick that I like to do, there is two, I want to say they're bones right here in our necks. And there's usually an indent here. And a lot of people will have like hair right here that kind of meets in the middle. And so I actually put my hand in the middle of their neck, and I'll use from my point here to use the comb to follow it down to where I put my thumb. And that's how I find where the middle is. Another easy way to check as well, because it's hard to tell when there's a lot of hair, or in general, I will take the hair and I will pull it upward, and you are able to see if it's in the middle. Like mine's a little bit off, right? So I'm gonna put my point of where it should be again, and I'm going to part that down. And then we can see that it is straight, right? Nice. All right, so now that we have those partings, it's very easy for the hair to go back into place. So I'm gonna take my handy clip. This is my alligator clip, right? And this is what they do. So you can stick it in the hair just like that, and it will lay flat. You're not gonna wanna put the clip in this way. This end here is always touching the scalp here, right? So what I like to do is I'm going to place one here. I'm gonna take my next one, place it here. My next one, place it here. Now this whole side of the head is sectioned out of the way, and we can focus on this one here. So before I do anything, I'm going to grab my spray bottle again. I'm going to spray the hair down, massaging it in without running my hands through her hair or my fingers. We're gonna take that whole section. It is much easier to work with the hair when it is in two sections than one. So grab that, spray it a little bit more. All right, so our next section is going to be what I like to call my standard 3. That's what we're gonna create here. So there is a line that you are gonna be able to see that we will create around here. And so what you like to do is put your finger behind the client's ear, and usually the hair will go up like this, and there's a point right here. So you put it right there, and at the top of the head, you're always gonna want to put it around here. So right before the hair starts, or the head starts to curve back, there's a straight line, and you'll see that it's around right there. This is important to know because for a lot of hairstyles, you're going to use this in particular technique, right? So I'm going to find that spot on the hair, right? And I'm gonna keep the comb on the scalp, this line is gonna be on the scalp, right? Not pointing into the scalp, not like this, straight on the scalp, right? I'm gonna take my finger, I'm gonna put it right behind her ear, and then I'll have my client tilt, and I will part, and my comb is going to naturally find where my finger is at. Once I have that, I'm gonna grab all of the hair on this side and use the comb to part out that side and slowly pull that apart. You don't want to drop the hair at this point because it's going to be hard to find that section again. So you're going to push that hair out of the way and you'll see the parting here, right? This can also be done with a wide tooth comb. If you have a little bit of less hair, you can, and you're not doing an in particular style, you're just detangling, then you can separate this with your finger. But this is a very important section. So I'm going to use one of these clips to clip this out of the way for now. And I'm going to take this section of hair and I'm going to put it in a bun. So I'm going to take the hair, I'm going to twist it. So I'm twisting it all the way down, twisting, and then I will twist that same way, wrapping it into a bun. There we go. And then I will show you guys what these butterfly clips can do. You can use one of these. It has little anchors and you can clip it onto the hair like this. Does that hurt? It's okay, good, all right. And so you can use it for that purpose, which is really nice, but you can see the section that we've created here. Nice, all right. So I'm going to take this section here and I am going to, for now, just clip it out of the way. And we are gonna do the same thing on this side. We are gonna make that same sectioning. So I will go through, take these clips out, and I'm going to spray the hair down. Right. I'm going to do the same thing, putting my finger here, grabbing my comb, tilting and finding that spot and following it down. I'm going to pull apart. Sorry. Yeah. I'm going to pull apart. And if you find any tangles on the way, you will stop. You're not going to pull through, that can cause breakage and it hurts. So you're gonna find wherever that tangle is and you'll slowly pull that apart. And if your hair is wet enough, which it should be quite simple. All right, now we have found that section. I will clip this out of the way and create my bun here. So now we have two sections here out of the way, and we have two here as well. So this would be our standard 3. If we put this together, it'd be your standard 3, but we are going to do a little bit more. So we still have our part in the back. For clients, or if you yourself only have a little bit less hair than this, then you can actually use this sectioning here. You would just twist this up out of the way and you would start detangling this side. Because Yasmin has a lot of hair, and if you have a lot of hair as well, you can section this again. So we're gonna do something called the standard 6 sectioning. So I'm gonna clip that out the way, and we have this hair here. We're gonna spray it down again.
Get more water, I'll be back.
Hang on, I feel like we're doing pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah. water's warm, so that's cool. Actually, I lied, it ain't warm. Wait, no, it's not. Anyway, all right, so we're gonna spray down the hair. Massage that in. Let me clip this so you guys can see a little bit better. Okay. Okay. All right, so now that we have that nice and watered down, I will show you guys 2 ways to know how to part this sectioning. Let me come on this side. Okay, so from that same point that we used on this side of the ear, you will use that same point and you will go straight across, meeting in the middle of the head here, right? So if you need to, you can use your finger and point here, use your comb, find the middle of the head, and you will have your comb follow your finger. Once you get to the other side, you're going to pull that hair apart. And it should look something like this. So you have your bottom section and your top section. So I'm going to twist this section again. We are twisting, twist it all the way up into a bun. This time I will use one of these and you can clip it like this, okay? This section as well, I will twist. Into a bun. And we'll clip it here. Go. All right, so we are going to do the same thing on the other side. We have 1, 2, 3 here. We're going to do the same thing here. And we will not forget that we need to spray the hair down again. Very important that the client's hair is always wet, because when your hair is dry, when detangling or sectioning, it can be very uncomfortable for yourself and the client. This helps that make the hair more movable and workable, just easier to manage. All right, so we're gonna do that same sectioning. You'll use from that point in the ear, or you can put your finger right at that other side and part from here. Your comb is meeting your finger. You're grabbing that hair from that section and you're pulling down, separating. If it gets too tangled, then you can just slowly pull it apart. All right. Okay, I'm gonna fix my section just a little bit. Your sections don't need to be perfect, but having these 6 coordinates of where you're gonna have these detangling, where you're gonna detangle, is just much easier to work with than doing it all in one. So we will clip this. If you're doing this at home, you don't need clips. You can use rubber bands, you could use hair ties, or just know where your sections are. All right, so we have everything sectioned off. You guys can take a look at what that looks like. We are not gonna section this one. We're not gonna put this one in a bun because we're actually gonna work on this one. So what you're gonna wanna do is grab whatever leave-in conditioner that you have or product that you are gonna put in your hair. We will be using something kind of random today. Any product really will do that you're using for leave-in conditioner. You're gonna take that product, you're gonna mix it in your hand first, and you are going to, without raking, put this on top of the hair and mix it in like so. We are only using a little bit just for demonstration purposes, but if you need to use more, please do. So once we have our product in, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna spray again, because when you put product on the hair, it soaks up the water, and you're gonna need water and product to detangle. All right, once you have it through without putting your hands in the hair, you're just putting your hands on top of the hair and massaging it in, okay? And since we're working in small sections, this is workable. All right, so one of the main things I see a lot of people make mistakes with having curly hair or doing curly hair is taking your brush and brushing up here. It's very important that whenever you're brushing curly hair or hair in general, that you work from the bottoms. This is important because tangles usually will only come out of the hair from the bottom. You have to brush them out of the bottom of the hair. So if you have tangles up here and you're brushing them down and they only meet here, then they kind of get stuck in that area when they need to be brushed out. So you're gonna brush down, and you'll see me do that here. So I'm gonna start from the bottom. I'm holding the hair like this. I'm holding it in my hand really tight, because that helps that when I'm pulling, it's not hurting her hair. So you never wanna let go of the hair and just brush like this. That hurts really, really bad for just about everybody. So you're gonna hold it. This is like about the amount of hair that you're gonna use. You're gonna put your brush on the hair. You're gonna go 1 and 2. Your last one will go underneath, 3. So 1, 2, 3. You can turn your brush sideways too. So let's do that again. So 1, 2, and 3, like that, right? We just brushed all the tangles out of that hair, and you can totally tell, right? Now we're gonna move our hand up a little bit more, and we're gonna go 1, 2, underneath, and 3, like that, right? And 1, 2, and 3. It's that same sectioning. We're gonna grab a little bit farther forward, 1, 2, and 3. Do it again, 1, 2, and 3. So that same thing. Now we're getting higher up, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Make sure that when you're brushing the hair or holding the hair, you always have the whole section in your hand. You don't want to lose some of it and it comes off to the side, and that becomes very painful. So you're always controlling the entire section of the hair when you're brushing it through. All right, so now we are getting to the roots. I'll have her put her head down for me, and I'm gonna make sure that my brush is touching her scalp, and I'm going 1, I'm still holding the hair, right? 1, 2, and I can go underneath, but I'm holding again, and 3, right? If your tangles get stuck in this area, you'll come right back down to that area and you'll brush it out again, right? All right, so let's do that again. 1, 2, and your third is gonna be brushing out this bottom area, and you're putting your brush there and then you're pulling it through in 3, okay? I got a tangle, so I'm gonna pull it back to the bottom. You are finished detangling when the whole section brushes straight through. There we go. For the demonstration, we're just gonna twist the hair. If you'd like, you can just leave it down. If you're doing your hair curly, you would just leave it down. I'm going to twist it. Twisting helps to make sure that the hair isn't retangling, especially if you have like long curly hair, thick hair in general. Twisting it makes sure that it doesn't continue to get tangled, right? Yeah. We will do a class on twisting, just not today. Cool. All right, now we're gonna take this section and you guys will just watch me do this one. So I'm going to spray it down again. Grab my product, mix it in my hands, and add it in. And there we go. We'll twist that one up. good. That means I'm doing my job. Okay, we're gonna move up to this section here. Okay. So this section usually is more tender for majority of clients that have curly hair because of the cowlicks and things that we have in this area. Just about everybody. So you're gonna wanna make sure you spray down that area. You really wanna soak this hair because it is a lot more painful if not done properly. So we're making sure there's plenty of water in there for her, and we're gonna go ahead and take a little bit more product than you usually would in this section. And of course, I'm not doing that much product, but you're gonna do a lot more at home, okay? After that, put a little bit more water because product loves to soak up all the water. All right. Now, from the bottoms again, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep on doing that. This method of detangling the hair, I have learned, is truly the best for it not to be painful for your client. This helps their hair to grow. Definitely recommend teaching this to your client as well. It actually, over time, makes it a lot faster for you doing your hair at home as well. And doing, client's hair, it makes it a lot faster than detangling all day and it not working. So this is a great way to make sure that when you're detangling, it's not painful and you can get it done fast. Having the same set motions while detangling is really, really important because that makes you move faster. You want to have a routine down for each section. All right, there we go. That section's all detangled and I'm going to go ahead and twist it up. Okay. All right, next section is here. We'll do that same thing. More water. Make sure that you're spreading the hair open and getting the hair on the inside wet as well. And I have to say, this brush in particular makes detangling a lot easier. So if you're using another brush and you're seeing me detangle and it's quite easy and you're wondering why, sometimes it's usually the brush that makes the big difference. And it might be the product that you're using as well. And we'll go over products in another class, but try the unbrush. It works really, really good. And a lot of people that have used other brushes in the past have gone and gotten one of these and haven't went back. I mean, I bought 150 of them to sell in the salon and every single one of them sold out. Just from using them on clients and them being like, what is this brush? This is amazing. you'll see here that when there's a lot of hair as well, I will brush down like this, and then I'm brushing all of that tangles out of that area into this ponytail, where I will then lightly brush them out from there. Just because when you're at the top of the head, it's hard to get them to reach all the way to the bottom without kind of pushing them downwards towards the end. But I'm not taking one big one and brushing it all the way through. You can only do that when the hair is completely detangled. So understanding how tangles and how hair works makes a big difference in how we're detangling at home and in the salon. So brushing those tangles down and then brushing them out of the hair. All right, that looks good. Brush that all the way out. There we go. And we'll go ahead and twist this up. Like I said, because they are in twists, there's no way for them to tangle because they are just free. They're not free, they're stuck in place, so there's no way that they can tangle up. All right, we're gonna start in the sections in the front. I will turn her this way. These two usually will go backwards and this one will come downward forward. So I will start that here. Usually these sections in the front are a lot easier. They're smaller sections and there's usually a lot less hair density just in general in the front of the hair. So these will be very simple. Okay. Make sure that you're getting underneath and you're brushing that out as well. Go. And we will twist this up as well. And we will do our last side. I'm gonna put my hand here to guard the water from getting in her face. And like you saw, we didn't have to use massive amounts of products to detangle her hair because we had detangled it at the wash bowl. And so we will go over how to do that as well. But if your hair is healthy and taken care of, it should be easy to detangle the hair just with a little bit of product and water, especially with this sectioning. So say you were not just detangling, you didn't want to put them in twist, you would do each section, put in your curly product, and then you would have your head completely done by now with all of its product installed, and then you just go about your day. So that is a really easy way to add product to your hair and to section your hair. So we went over today how to do 6 sections. We went over the middle part, your side sections here, and how to detangle the hair properly. So we went over some good things today. I will see you guys next time. I'll see you guys in the next one. I will see you guys in the next one.